اوكي يلا بينا. Oh, yeah, that's my dad. I grew into those ears. I'd like to think so. I used to be called like Mickey Mouse at school because I kind of look like Mickey Mouse a little bit. But yeah, I love this photo. Okay, ده كان يوم العيد في London. This is my family. This is my brother, Mel, my mom, my dad, and Ehab, my eldest brother. I am a family man. Yeah, blood is thicker than water. And you know, they've always been super supportive and had my back in several different ways, and it's unconditional, isn't it? Because I'm the youngest. Ehab was kind of the experiment. Mel was the middle child, and I was the like, oh, you want to be an actor? Okay, fine, it's okay. I love this photo. That was in Deauville in France. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that is Omar Sharif. Massive fan of Omar Sharif, and I couldn't believe my eyes and my ears. My dad told me that we were gonna go see him. We rocked up to his hotel, and my dad was like, we're here to see Omar Sharif. And he's like, hi, I'm Omar, nice to meet you. And I gave him a big hug and just gushed about how much of a big fan I am and how much I idolized him. And as you can see how sweet he was just like, come here, let's chat. We bonded over doing the same play as each other. We both did the same part in Hamlet. We both played Laertes. It was a real educational moment for me because he was kind of saying to me, in order to succeed, you have to kind of do your work in your home country. You know, not only in the UK, but you have to like, he said, there's nothing like the support of your own people. Wherever you go, they'll always be there with you. And I think that's quite true, actually. I did a test scene. Before I had gotten the role of Ramzi, they put me in a camera test with Hanid, and that was really exciting for me because I'd never been in front of the camera before. I'd only ever done theatre, like student short films. And for me, this was like a professional setting in a studio. I'd never been in the studio before. It was all kind of overwhelming and exciting, but there was nothing to lose. It was an improvised scene, and Ustaz Muhammad Hadi is the king of improvisation. The scene was he'd just come to the school and he was asking for directions, and I was responding to him in English and confusing the hell out of him. But I was just saying like, oh, you're gonna go past the roundabout and you find a statue of a leprechaun. Over the leprechaun you have to make 3 wishes. Then he'll grant you the 3rd wish, which is to direct you to the final gate, something like that. And then he was like, ماشي تمام شكرا يعني أروح هنا. And people were laughing and laughing and laughing, and then a couple of days later, Ustaz Wael Hassan, the director, was like, Amir, come to my trailer now. You are going to be playing this character. His name is Ramzi. It's one of the lead roles in it, and I hope you're ready for this because it's quite a big commitment. I said, okay, is there a script? He's like, there is, but you just do some of that. Just do some of that and we'll guide you, we'll give you the lines. There's room for you to just do what you just did. Me, Omar Mutwalli, Tariq Al-Bieri, like, look how young we were. It's so amazing to see how each of their careers have progressed. Tariq is a gem of a human being, one of the nicest people in the industry. He has one of the funniest lines or scenes in the movie when they ask him what his name is, the Ya Galil scene. And Omar Mutwalli as well progressed doing so many amazing films, as well as be on stage and have his own show now. We were just 3 kids that had never acted in front of a professional camera before, and just were like, let's just have fun. That was my 2nd film. So I had gone back to uni. Very naughty. I had pulled a sickie and said to my professor that I'm not feeling great, so I could go and film this movie. I had just been accepted at Royal Holloway University. I mean, if they see this, I'm really sorry, but a lot of time's passed now. I went back, I studied criminology and sociology, and then I get a phone call from Yasmin Abdelaziz. I couldn't believe myself. She was like, I saw Ramadan Mabruk Abaran Hamouda, would you like to do this with us? I was like, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely, I'm a massive fan of you. And one of my professors at the university, I told her that I was going to act, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to become a professional actor. And she was like, you know what? And she was so sweet, and I'll never forget this. She was like, in 10 years' time, you will not remember the essay you wrote for me, but you remember the movie you made. So I'd rather you go make this film because that will stay with you forever. Whereas this essay, it doesn't matter. So it's fine. Like, you can take your time, write the essay. I'll give you maybe a couple more weeks to like finish it if you need that time. And to be honest, because she gave me that trust, even when I was filming this, I did manage to like, you know, carry on with my studies and, you know, meet the deadlines and stuff. But yeah, so from Ramadan Mabruk Al Hamouda to gracing the photo of, this was, I actually completely forgot about this. So Royal Holloway, where I studied criminology and sociology, they they wanted to track the careers of people who'd graduated, and I had gone to drama school after that. They called me up and they were like, can we want to like find out what you've been up to since? We'd heard that you'd done a couple movies. What are you doing now? I said, oh, do you know what? I'm actually at LAMDA now. I'm at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts. Like, okay, can we like come with a couple of photographers and just tell us about your experience at Royal Holloway and and how it's, you know, further informed you as an artist. A couple of weeks later, I found myself plastered all over Royal Holloway University with this. My friends who are still at uni have sent me these photos, which is quite funny. Rosewater. So Rosewater, a casting director, Gina J, Olivia Britton, they had come to see a show I was in, and I didn't have an agent, I didn't have any rep, and they had called the office asking for me to audition. And then at the same time, an agent who had got the like breakdown of that role ended up calling me too. So I went, I was really nervous. I put myself on tape. Not long after, the agent called me and said, Jon Stewart is in London and he wants to see you and a couple of other people. I was like, oh my gosh, okay. There he is, Jon Stewart and Gael García Bernal. I went inside and Jon Stewart was like, hey, take a seat. And I was ready to like do the audition again, and he was like, all I'm asking is for you to pack some shorts because Jordan is really hot. I was like, excuse me, what? He's like, yeah, you guys got shorts? I was like, yeah, I got shorts, yeah. Does this mean I got the role? He's like, yeah. And he shook my hand, I was like, oh, amazing. Oh my God, thank you so much. And that was my first Hollywood film, and straight out of drama school. And LAMDA very, very generously let me graduate a month early, like a term early. So to do this film, so that was amazing. And actually working with Gael García Bernal was amazing because I'd already been a massive fan of his, and such a down-to-earth guy, and just kind of learning from him as well, and seeing how he works and how he preps. And Jon Stewart was one of the coolest guys ever. Like, he's so down-to-earth, and like the way he works on set is just so fluid, and he doesn't really like put pressure on anyone. He likes to play and likes to have fun and not take yourself too seriously. Like, treat the job with as much integrity, but don't take yourself too seriously. Oh, this is a little bit left field. So I still love doing theatre. I always just thought like it's always good to like keep that side tool sharpened. It was a play about Gaza, someone who was entrapped in his own circle. My master or practitioner was outside of the circle. Every time I had hope of getting out, he'd reel me back in. We performed this around London, and it was very powerful. We had nothing. All we had was a piece of chalk, white chalk, and a circle, and that was our stage. It was, I think, a useful way of getting the point across, but not hammering it on people's heads. Because at that time as well, especially in the UK, you know, people did know about, were aware of Gaza, and you know, art is always a great way to educate. This was the night manager, adrenaline fueled audition process, because I got an email, and to prepare for a different role, it was the role of Freddie Hamid, who was the like playboy rich kid. Maybe a few hours before going to the audition, the casting director said, can you keep your options open and we'll send you some lines for a different role. I went and I was learning my lines as I was going to the audition, and I was like, oh, I hope I don't mess this up. I hope I remember my lines, and I like to prep early. But anyway, I went there and everyone was super supportive and let me take my time. I auditioned for the other role, and then I auditioned for Yusuf. And as soon as I did Yusuf, it was amazing. It was my first kind of first time being on a massive set, massive movie stars like Hugh Laurie, Olivia Colman, Tom Hiddleston. That was what was lovely. Tom Hiddleston was like a real collaborator, and like he knew, you know, I was still at the beginning of my career and stuff, and he was super helpful and super like nurturing, and he kind of let me into his process as well, taught me like things that he likes to do to get into character more, like the kind of music he likes to listen to, what he likes to do moments before he's on set, how he educates himself on the world of the show and stuff. And so yeah, we kind of built a really strong rapport. This was The State with Peter Kuzminski. I had auditioned for like 5 different characters, and I'm very lucky that I got to play this character in the end, because for me, my favorite arc are the roles that I'd auditioned for in this show. And Peter Kuzminski is probably one of the most intelligent human beings ever. And when I auditioned, I was just really nervous because I was a big fan of his. And my phone started playing music. It started playing U2. As I was doing this like massive monologue and like getting emotional and crying and this, that, and the other, you hear Bono singing out loud, and then it was so embarrassing, and I could see the casting director's head like just kind of burying herself in her hands, being like, oh my gosh, she messed it up. And then Peter Kuzminski, and I was like, oh, I've messed it, I've lost this, I've lost my chance of being in the show. And he gets up and he walks over to me, he goes, I love the background music, but can we do a different version where we don't have anything with Bono in it? And I was like, yeah, of course, oh my God, yeah, I'm so sorry, like my phone, I don't know how that happened themselves. He's like, it's okay. All right, let's go again then. And I did it again, and I kind of felt like, okay, cool. Yeah, this is the same thing. This was Karim Esem, Zafar Abdin. We were all in this show together, which was amazing. And I remember seeing Karim walk in on the first day of the read-through, and we both looked at each other like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? And it was amazing, because I think my dad and Karim went to the same gym, so they knew each other before I knew Karim. And he was like, I know your dad, by the way. I was like, oh yeah? He goes, yeah, we go to the same gym. I was like, oh, cool. And since then, yeah, we've become great friends. And Zafar as well, become amazing friends. Zafar and I actually met on a radio play, a BBC radio play, before this. This is Jack Ryan. We shot this in Montreal, in Canada. This was super cool. It was my first time doing TV series for a major like streaming service, Amazon. I remember when I got the script, I was like, shit, am I playing a terrorist? Because I didn't really know. I was like, are we the bad guys? And you see my character like reevaluating his choices, and he doesn't want to like be part of it anymore, but it's too late. And then I walked up to the guy and I said, by the way, nobody thinks they're the bad guy. Everyone thinks they're the hero of their story. And there must be a reason as to why they feel that they need to do this. No one ever paints themselves as the bad guy and inflicts pain on someone for no reason. There must be a reason for this. But actually, in the feedback from this show, a lot of the people felt more for these characters than they did for the so-called good guys or whatever. Limbo, one of my favorite movies I've ever made, and one of my favorite characters I've ever played, and one of the most challenging roles I've done. I had to like learn to play the oud, learn the Syrian dialect, lose a bunch of weight, because just to get into the idea of having fled and traveled a long way, long distance to find a new home, and very few times I've read a script where I've laughed and cried at the same time. And yeah, I could talk about this for hours, this film. That blue coat will forever be iconic to me. And then yeah, we screened it at the Cairo Film Festival, and we won pretty much all the top prizes. This is The Crown, where I played Mohammed Al-Fayed in season 5, episode 3. Yeah, we've done a really lengthy audition process. It was like a 4-hour audition process. And I had an amazing movement coach called Polly. And she helped me go through the process of like adopting Mohammed Al-Fayed's mannerisms and making us in sync with the actor who plays Mohammed Al-Fayed when he's older. Rogue heroes. I remember doing this during COVID times. That was tricky because 30 guys in the desert lifting weights, going to the gym. It was like a proper like lads kind of thing. But we had to like quarantine in the first week, and we had to all stay in our rooms. It really tested our patience. But Rogue Heroes is a really cool show, and yeah, it was a bit of fun to do, and that was my character. I played a doctor who worked with the British Army, and I had a very RP accent in that. It was good fun. Club Zero, another indie film I'd done, and I had to be a ballet teacher or instructor, and I'd learnt to do ballet. Well, I'd say learnt. I mean, ballet is probably one of the hardest dance forms that I kind of still. It would probably need years and years even to just do a pirouette. But yeah, so massive respect to ballet dancers, for sure. In camera, this is where it's at. In camera, an incredible experience. Written and directed by Nakash Khalid, who is in this room right now, and he's hearing me. And big up to Nakash. Be involved in his genius is something that I'm very lucky to be a part of. And the whole process was very playful. You know, there was never a wrong route. There was no take that was ever the same. So like, we do a scene in one way, and then we do the same scene again, and the camera would just move around us. It was cool to play a character that was real, but also could be a figment of someone else's imagination, if that makes sense. And there he is, and there I am at Cairo International Film Festival. This is the man himself gracing the red carpet. Very surreal moment, actually, for me, because yeah, you know, Nakash and I have known each other for years now, and now he's come to my world in a way, like to have him here in Egypt. And I keep telling him he needs to come back and stay here for at least a month so you can get to see Egypt properly. But I hope you've had a good time, Nakash. This is Pierce Brosnan, and this is me wearing boxing gloves because we were shooting a film called Giant, which is still not out yet, and I'm super excited for everyone to come to go see it. I haven't seen it yet, so but inshallah, it's going to be a very exciting film. It's a more commercial film than things I've done before. That's me again with short hair, kind of preparing to play Nasim Hamid, who was one of the kind of most successful boxers to come out of the UK. He is of Yemeni descent, and it was hugely inspirational for me growing up to see someone that looks like me being successful in what he does. So besides Omar al-Sharif, who was my idol, Nasim Hamid was also someone that as a massive inspiration to someone who's essentially looks like an outsider in a community, and to manage to get through all the trials and tribulations of that and succeed. Thank you very much. That was really sweet. I like that a lot. Amazing. I love that.